Anonymous Pinoy Confessions. Nepo Baby. I am grade 11 student in an affluent school in Makati. I wish this story was but a figment of my imagination, but it is not. I have a friend, si Jeremy. He is a party goer, as in every weekend nasa Pobla. Because of his partying, he met very affluent and wealthy people, mga anak ng contractor and corrupt government officials. Jeremy got invited to these kids' house parties sa mga mansyon nila. They got very close. Nagkwentuhan kami ni Jeremy and I asked about his rich friends. I asked how their parents became wealthy. He said some were through generational wealth, but most of them were wealthy because their parents were corrupt government officials. Ang sabi sa kanya, the way they get rich is through infrastructure projects. They tripled the prices of materials on paper to receive more budget allotment, purchase substandard materials, and pocket the rest of the allocated budget. I asked if the kids were aware of the ongoing corruption scandals happening in our country and the heinous actions that their parents have done. Ang sabi ni Jeremy, bro, they don't give a fuck. I asked Jeremy kung natatakot ba sila na ma-expose sa media. Ang sabi niya, all of them have already moved sa Europe and the US, and most remain very anonymous. Jeremy said they make fun of the Discayas for stupidly and openly flaunting ill-gotten wealth. I asked Jeremy if they were good people. Ang sabi niya, they were nice at palagi silang nililibre sa mga dinner at parties, but they are fully aware of the heinous crimes that their parents do. I wanted to share this story. Filipino people, keep raging, keep fighting. The corruption we have uncovered is only the tip of a very big iceberg. In every branch of government in the Philippines is lathered with corrupt officials. Wake up and rage. The fight has only begun. Zaldico, Martin Romualdez, and the Discayas are only the beginning. Corn Brief. Napanood ko yung episode about sa napkin na inamoy, kaya gusto ko lang din i-share ang obsession ko. Lumaki ako sa isang conservative na pamilya. Bata pa lang ako, alam ko na naa-attract ako sa mga lalaki. Pero dahil sa environment ko, puro mga lalaki halos ang mga pinsan ko. Kaya naging sobrang discreet ako. Tahimik lang, sarili ko lang ang nakakaalam. Hanggang naging seaman ako. Life on board is ibang klase. Mahabang kontrata, paulit-ulit na routine, at matinding loneliness. Pangalawang barko ko na to, at dito ko ulit nakasama si engineer na naging kasabay ko rin sa unang contract ko. Gwapo siya, gym buff, confident, pero higit sa lahat, mabait siya. Natural lang sa kanya, walang mali siya. Doon nagsimula yung crush ko. Malalim, pero hindi ko kailanman inamin or ipinakita. Sa totoo lang, iniiwasan ko siya minsan. Kapag nag-uusap kami, nahihiya ako. Awkward ako. Isang araw, naglalaba ako. Sa laundry room, may nakita akong balde na may damit. Halatang kanya kasi alam ko damit niya pati underwear. Bigla akong tinamaan ng libog. Hindi ko napigilan ang sarili ko. Kinuha ko yung isang underwear. Bagong laba, walang amoy. Pero andoon yung excitement. Binulsa ko. Dinala ko sa cabin. Doon ko pinagpantasyahan. Akala ko doon na matatapos. Ilang araw pa ang lumipas. Naglalaba ulit ako. This time, nakita ko ang mga damit niya na hindi pa nalalaban and basa pa ng pawis. Galing engine room. May nakita akong black Calvin Klein na underwear. Basang-basa. Mag-isa lang ako, hindi na ako nag-isip. Inamoy ko at doon na tuluyang lumala. Kinuha ko at dinala ko ulit sa cabin. Dinilaan yung pawis sa underwear. Alam ko nakakadiri pero grabe yung pantasya ko. Then over time, mas lumala. Hindi lang underwear, pati medyas, pati damit na may amoy ng kilikili. Ewan ko kung bakit pero parang doon ako hinahatak. Doon ko nararamdaman yung excitement kahit alam kong mali. Ang mas nakakatakot, hindi doon nagtapos. Sa mga sumunod na barko, kahit wala na si engineer, napansin ko na nauulit ang pattern. Kapag may nakikita akong attractive na crew at nagiging fixated ako, hinahanap ko ulit yung parehong bagay. Mga damit, mga gamit, mga amoy. Hindi na lang siya tungkol sa tao, kundi obsession na. Hanggang ngayon, dala ko yung hiya at pagkalito. Hindi ko alam kung saang eksakto nag-umpisa ang lahat. Kung loneliness ba, repression o matagal ko lang pinipigilan ang sarili ko. Ang alam ko lang, nagsimula siya sa simpleng attraction. Tapos unti-unti naging isang bagay na ako na ang kinokontrol. Ella. This happened right after the pandemic back in 2021. I was 19 at that time. One morning, I had just woken up from a night of drinking when my cousin, Prince, invited me to go swimming. Uy pre, sama ka. Andun si Ella. For context, Ella is super pretty and was a close friend back in high school and crush ko siya noon. I was bored, depressed, and honestly had nothing better to do kaya sumama ako. Deep down, sabi ko sa sarili ko, wala namang masama kung magkikita kami ulit. At the resort, swimming, tawanan, and bonding kami ni Ella. We reconnected after many years of not talking dahil binasted niya ako nung high school. It didn't take long before our friends started to notice the way Ella and I were being a little too sweet and close with each other. Noong gumabi na, we decided to sleep over at Prince's house. After kumain and magbihis, Ella, Prince at ako ang natulog sa kwarto niya while yung iba sa sala natulog. Prince teased us. Huwag kayo magtabi ni Ella at baka may mangyari. We just laughed. And just like that, tulog na si Prince dahil sa pagod. A few minutes later, tumabi sa akin si Ella. We scrolled through TikTok until our eyes felt heavy. Eventually, pinatay ko yung phone ko and told her, matulog na tayo. Nakahiga kami facing each other, inching closer and closer until our lips were just a breath apart. The silence was deafening. You could hear our hearts pounding. Neither of us dared to move until Ella just straight up kissed me. I froze, pero syempre, I kissed her back. One kiss led to another. And ayun, yung simpleng kiss naging momol. Yung momol naging foreplay. Habang katabi namin si Prince na mahimbing ang tulog. Grabe yung kaba ko habang nagda-dry hump na walang damit. Hindi ko alam ang gagawin ko. And the thought of us getting caught was scary. No penetration happened that night, but it was enough to leave my head spinning. A few days later, we decided to start dating. Both of us had just gotten out of a toxic relationship. At first, I thought it was just a rebound or a FUBU relationship. But as our conversations grew deeper, I realized I genuinely loved her and she felt the same. One midnight, tumakas ako to meet her sa isang kubo near her house. We opened up to each other and things quickly turned physical. That night, it finally happened. My first time. I was nervous and clueless, so she took the lead. Let's just say it was not for the weak-hearted. The adrenaline was insane. Kasi out in public kami while may mga rumorondang mga tanod. And the thought of her getting pregnant almost killed me. After that, we got reckless. We did it in the most random places. Under a bridge, at a friend's house while that friend was in the same room, in a water refilling station, and even in a waiting shed. Looking back, I can't decide if it was wild, stupid, or both. But nonetheless, I loved and accepted her in every way. But like all stories that burn too bright too fast, ours did not last. A few months later, I found out she was cheating with her ex. Nakita kong kausap niya ulit and may chikinini siya sa leeg. It hurt more than I can explain kasi akala ko she was my endgame. Turns out, she was just not my totga. She was also my third cousin. Nalaman ko lang after we broke up. Bored. Hi, I'm 18 years old. Female. Itago niyo na lang ako sa pangalang Kiandra. And nakipag one night stand ako sa classmate ko, si S. Mas bata siya sa akin. And to be honest, hindi naman siya kagwapuhan. Nagsimula lahat nung sobrang bored ako sa bahay. Nagpost ako sa notes ng ayain niyo ako gumala please. Hoping may mag-aaya sa akin. After ilang minuto, may nagreply, si S. Tara, gala. Syempre ako naman, G na G. Kaya ayun, sumama ako sa kanya kahit mga 8pm na. Nag-street food kami, buti may bukas pa. Tapos bigla niya akong inaya uminom. Akala ko joke lang, pero seryoso pala. At first medyo weird kasi kaming dalawa lang. Gabi na, tapos inom. Pero pumayag pa rin ako kasi bored nga rin ako. Fast forward, tinamaan ako ng kalasingan. Pinahinga ko muna ang ulo ko sa mesa. Tapos bigla siyang nagsabi, tara, palipas muna tayo ng gabi sa hotel. Hilong-hilo na ako noon pero hinayaan ko na lang. Binuhat niya ako, dinala sa kama, nilakang pinto, pinatay ang ilaw. Humiga siya, hinila ako at hinalikan. Ramdam ko yung kamay niya papunta sa private part ko. Hindi ako tumutol, nagustuhan ko rin. Tinanggal niya ang damit ko at panty ko gamit ang bibig niya. Tapos tinanggal niya rin ang pantalon niya. And girl, ang laki. Alam niyo na ang sumunod. Hindi ko na inisip kung may makakarinig. Sobrang lakas ng ungol ko. Pero para akong nasapian. Kinabukasan, sobrang kabado ko kasi feeling ko na iputok niya sa loob. Tinanong ko siya, sa labas mo ba pinutok? Ang sagot niya, hindi ko alam. Tangina. Uminom agad ako ng pills kasi sobrang takot ko mabuntis. Pero hindi lang yun ang iniisip ko. Nalaman ko pa na may girlfriend pala siya at fuckboy pa. Lahat daw halos tinitira niya. Doon ako kinilabutan. Kahit ata posting may palda, sisibakin niya eh. Diring-diri ako sa sarili ko at mas kinakatakot ko ngayon baka may sakit siya. Pasan ang mundo. Hi, I'm 19 years old, female, working na as a call center agent. I would like to share this lang kasi parang sasabog na rin ako. Before pa ako makapag-work sa company, naguluhan din ako kung saan ako magstay. Nung una sa auntie ko, kapatid ng papa ko. Well, hindi rin ako nagtagal kasi maraming marites. So, I decided to move in with my father. I had no choice kasi that time I was still mad at him. Kasi simulat sa pool, never niya akong binigyan ng pansin. Sa grandparents ko ako lumaki at sila ang nagpaaral sa akin. Anyway, I am an only child. There were times na naiiyak ako kasi every sahod ko walang natitira sa akin. Parang pasanin ko ang mundo. May kinakasama rin ng father ko. When I was 10 years old, my mother passed away due to goiter. Ang dami kong naranasan na sakit. 2015 nang mamatay ang mother ko. 2023 nung namatay ang ama-amahan ko, ang lolo ko. And then this year lang, tito ko naman ang namatay na tumulong din sa pagpapaaral sa akin. Hindi ko rin alam why until now hindi ako nakakaramdam ng care sa father ko. Nag-grocery ako every sahod. Binabayaran ko pa motor niya kada buwan. Iba pa yung nagbibigay ako sa stepmom ko. I also found out na ang perspective ng stepmother ko kapag hindi niya anak, never niya itong bibigyan ng care, especially if nagkasakit man ako. I also experienced this when I was in senior high. Binantayan niya ako sa ospital ng isang araw then iniwan din ako around afternoon. 4 months na ako sa work pero wala pa rin akong natatabi. Halos nauubos, hindi sa pansarili ko kundi kakabigay. I have no doubts na bigyan ko si Lola kasi malaki ang utang na loob ko. Pero kapag walang-wala ako, wala rin naman akong malapitan. I realized na hindi talaga maganda ang magbigay ng sobra. I hope sa next pay ko may matabi na ako for myself. I worked hard for it. These sacrifices today will lead to better days ahead. Hayop. Gusto ko lang i-share yung kahayupan na ginawa ni Kuya M. Nakakatandang pinsan kong lalaki kung saan nasira ang buhay niya. Ang mga biktima niya dito ay si tita, mga pinsan namin at mga pinsan niya sa kabilang side ng family niya. Nagsimula si Kuya M sa kalokohan niya bata pa lang siya. Sa edad na 12 years old, pinagjajakulan na raw niya ang tita namin. Ayon pa sa kanya, inaamoy niya raw ang mga panty ni tita noon at doon niya pinuputok matapos niya magsalsal. Matapos ang insidente sa tita namin, sa edad na 26, mas lalong lumala si Kuya M. 4 na pinsang babae namin ang biniktima niya. Yung unang pinsang babae, 17 years old, ay sinisilipan daw niya tuwing naliligo. Yung sa pangalawang pinsan, 18 years old, nahuli siya ng mga pinsan namin na pinagpapantasyan at pinagsasalsalan ang picture nito. Yung pangatlo at pang-apat na mga pinsan namin ang pinakamalala. Inaya ba naman ni Kuya M yung dalawang magkakapatid na babae na makipag-threesome sa kanya na edad 15 at 17 years old lang? Gago ang puta. Hindi pa siya nakontento dun. Pilit pa raw siyang nagpapa-blowjob sa mga babaeng pinsan niya sa kabilang side ng family niya. Hayop kang animal ka. Sa sobrang lala ng mga pangyayari, nagsumbong na ang mga pinsang babae at inilayo si Kuya M at ipinatapon sa ibang bansa para mailayo siya sa pamilya namin. Hindi ko na alam kung kamusta na yung gagong yun, pero ang alam ko lang, buhay pa siya. Sa makatuwid, kung ayaw mo masira ang buhay mo, wag na wag mong tutularan si Kuya M. Foot massage. Hello, I'm Luna, male. I have a cousin na babae, si Lay. We were both 14 years old that time. It started when they were living near our house and araw-araw silang pumupunta dito para maki-wifi and sometimes dito sila natutulog. Isang araw, napapansin ko na dinidikit niya yung pepe niya sa akin. Kapag nakahiga ako sa couch namin, inuupuan niya ang paa ko para dumikit at ma-finger yung pepe niya gamit ang paa ko. Dahil sa sobrang manhid ko noon, nahihiya ako na makipag-sex sa kanya. Kaya sa tuwing natutulog sila dito, pinifinger ko lang siya habang tulog. Hindi ko alam kung nagigising or nafe-feel ba niya ang ginagawa ko. Ilang araw namin ginawa yun at never kaming nag-sex hanggang sa lumipat na sila ng bahay. Now, I am 17 and still thinking about it. Ewan ko ba kung manghihinayang ako dahil hindi kami nag-sex or magpapasalamat ako sa sarili ko dahil hindi ko siya ginalaw at virgin pa rin siya ngayon dahil sa pagiging manhid ko. Code. Ako si Stacy, grade 10 student. Kung may isang bagay akong masasabi sa sarili ko, siguro ay I'm not the type to easily get distracted. Pero nung araw na yun, something changed. Absent ang teacher namin kaya napilitan kaming pumasok sa ibang classroom. As I walked in, nagulat ako. Doon ko siya nakita. Si Aiden. Attractive siya, in a way na hindi ko maipaliwanag. Clean cut, confident pero hindi mayabang. Nagkatinginan kami the moment I stepped inside. For a second, parang na-freeze ang mundo. Yung tipong kahit maraming tao sa paligid, siya lang yung nakikita ko. May vacant seat dito, sabi niya habang bahagyang nakangiti. Thanks, sagot ko. Pilit na hindi nagpapahalata na mabilis ang tibok ng puso ko. From that day, nagkaroon kami ng small talks, group works, sharing notes, random kwentos, at unti-unti, I found myself looking forward seeing him. Pero may isang malaking problema. Si Trix, my best friend, admitted one night habang nagchichikahan kami. Crush ko si Aiden, as in, sobra. Ang bait niya, ang pogi tapos parang ang galing niya sa lahat. Imagine kung maging kami. Sabay tawa niya, pero kita kong seryoso siya. Napangiti ako kahit ang sakit. Talaga? Nice, bagay nga kayo. Pero deep down, parang may bumigat sa dibdib ko. Girl code, hindi pwede. At halos sabay din, nalaman ko mula sa mga kaibigan ni Aiden, si Carl, best friend niya, may gusto sa akin. Parang ang unfair ng mundo. Kasi paano kung pareho kayong may nararamdaman pero bawal lang kasi may girl code at boy code na nakaharang. One afternoon, pagkatapos ng klase, Aiden called me outside. Stacy, can I talk to you? Nakatayo kaming dalawa sa waiting shed. Lumapit ako, kinakabahan. Alam kong mali, pero I cannot keep this to myself anymore, he said, staring straight into my eyes. I like you, Stacy. Natigilan ako, pero agad niyang binawi. Halos bulong na ang boses. But Carl likes you too. He is my best friend. I cannot betray him. Hindi ko rin kinaya na itago. Aiden, I like you too. But Trix likes you. She is my best friend. Ayokong masira yung samahan namin. Pareho kaming natahimik. Parang ang bigat-bigat. And yet, ang gaan din kasi alam naming totoo ang nararamdaman namin. Pagkatapos nun, things changed. Naging awkward ang lahat. Hindi na kami ganun kadaldal sa isa't isa. Hindi na ganun ka-close. Pero kahit anong pilit na umiwas, the feelings were still there. Alam namin pareho. We liked each other. We wanted each other. Pero minsan, hindi sapat ang gusto. Sometimes, I think about the moment sa waiting shed. Yung what if. What if we chose each other over our best friends? Would it have been worth it? Pero siguro, tama na rin. Some loves are not meant to be. Kami ni Aiden, we were one of those unfinished stories. All because of one word. Code. Sexual relationship with my sister. Hi po, I'm a female and I had a sexual relationship with my sister. Growing up, close na close kami ng sister ko. Sa lahat ng bagay. Lagi kaming magkasama. Lagi pa nga kaming napagkakamalang kambal. One time when I was 8 years old and my sister was 12, nanonood kami ng TV habang nakahiga sa kama. We shared the bed kaya lagi kaming magkatabi. Anyways, while we were watching, biglang lumapit sa akin ang sister ko and all of a sudden, hinawakan niya ang private part ko. That time, I didn't know what was going on kasi bata pa ako. Hindi ko maintindihan bakit niya ginawa yun, kaya hinayaan ko siya at hindi pinigilan. Sabi niya, manood lang daw ako ng TV at wag ko siyang pansinin. Tapos bigla niya akong hinalikan. Sa gulat ko, tinulak ko siya kasi ang uncomfortable. Nagalit siya at sinampal ako. Sinabi niya sa akin na kapag hindi ako nag-behave, susuntukin daw niya ako. Natakot ako kaya sinunod ko na lang siya. Ilang beses at ilang araw itong naulit. Meron pang time na finorce niya akong hawakan ng private part niya. Ayoko sanang gawin pero natakot ako sa kanya. Hindi ko nagawang magsabi sa parents namin dahil bantay sarado ako sa ate ko. This all happened 15 years ago. I'm 23 now. Hindi na kami nag-uusap ng sister ko kasi she moved out of our house when she turned 21. Never namin pinag-usapan yung nangyari. And until now, hindi ko pa rin sinasabi sa parents ko. Ipinagbabawal. Hi, I'm a 20-year-old girl. A second-year college student at Red Lions. You can just call me Red. I have a boyfriend. Let's call him Ice. And her love is what some might call forbidden. Ice is 22, a fourth-year student. And his first and last name don't sound Muslim. He is, however, a Muslim, while I'm a born-again Christian. We attend the same school. We met through mutual friends last year. It was my first year and I was looking for new friends. Our mutual friends was having a birthday gathering at their condo. During our conversations, they found out that I don't play video or mobile games, which particularly piqued their interest. He could not believe someone wouldn't play mobile games. My friend told him I was an old soul and that I'm more into books. He mentioned he collects vinyl records, which also caught my interest, even though I've never collected them myself. We exchanged social medias that night, and our conversations continued until we eventually became a couple. We never discussed our religions and didn't know about each other's beliefs. One day, he took me to a quiet place that overlooked the sea. We talked and we kissed, and one thing led to another. We made love in his car. He was my first, and he seemed inexperienced, which in a way made the experience more intimate. As a born-again Christian, I knew it was wrong, but I loved it. After that night, we continued to be intimate, and sex became a part of our relationship. One day, I saw him at the mall with a group of people, one of whom was wearing a hijab. I could not approach him because I was in my car and they were just entering the mall. I asked him about it later, and that's when he confessed he was a Muslim. I opened up about my religion too. I don't know how to feel about all of it. Despite this, we are still together and continue to be intimate. Some people might suggest I convert, but my parents are very devoted Christians, just as is are devoted Muslims. We both know that we will eventually have to break up, but for now, we are enjoying our time together. We are not particularly showing off our relationship, but it is not a secret either. Fake pussy. Hi, I'm Ali, a trans woman. I've had surgery. May fake boobs ako. At yes, may fake pussy din. And to be honest, madalas hindi nahahalata. Marami na rin nagsabi na I look and move like a real girl. A few months ago, I met a straight guy sa dating app, si Mick. Nagkaroon kami ng connection. We talked for a month, then nag-meet kami. Syempre, normal worry ko. What if pagkakita namin, bigla siyang makahalata na trans ako, kahit alam kong wala na akong bahid ng aking nakaraan. Nilakasan ko na lang ang loob ko and it went smooth. Actually, we had sex agad. Noong ginagawa namin yun, natatakot ako kasi nasa isip ko paano kung mahalata niya ang fake pussy ko. Pero ang ending, walang pagdududa at all. After that, mas lalo siyang na-inlove sa akin. I met his friends and his family. Naging sobrang seryoso niya sa akin. Eventually, naging kami. Pero habang tumatagal, kinakain ako ng konsensya ko. Alam kong he deserved the truth. E natakot ako sa reaction niya at sa consequences. So I chose to walk away instead of telling him everything. Nag-break kami recently. He still wants us back. Pero ayoko na. Hindi ko na kayang lokohin siya. Kaya pag-alis na lang ang pinili ko. Umalis ako, not because I did not care, but because I cared too much to keep lying. A love that needed to end. Hi, female, 22 years old, and I'm a bi. May mga pangyayari or bagay na hinihiling natin na sana hindi na lang nawala o nagtapos. It all started noong grade 10 pa lang ako. I'm an academic achiever, naughty, funny, and playful, but a respectful student. Sa totoo lang, hindi ako lucky sa love. Lagi akong tinitake advantage ng mga tao. Pinaglalaruan lang nila yung feelings ko. Ayoko na lang magmahal nung mga panahong yun. But there was this one woman that lightened up my eyes. She was a friend of a friend in her school. It was a super unusual first encounter. Nasiko ko kasi siya sa mukha. I apologized to her, but the guilt inside me was killing me. So every time na makikita ko siya, nagsusorry ako. I wanted to know her name and know her more. One day, nanghiram yung teacher namin ng room kasi hindi gumagana yung TV sa room namin. So sa room nila kami naki-TV kasi wala sila. I sat down beside her bag. Pinapaalis ko yung mga taong gustong umupo doon. Inaayos ko yung mga bag niya at pinupunasan ko yung desk niya para maging comfortable siya sa upuan niya. Lagi kong iniiwan ang cellphone ko sa kaibigan ko na kaibigan niya dahil bawal kami magdala ng phone sa classroom namin. Natuwa and kinilig ako kasi may selfie siya sa phone ko. Nung iniwan ko ulit yung phone ko sa kanila, I gathered my courage na lapitan siya. Not to talk to her but to get her fingerprint on my phone security biometric. After kong makuha, tumakbo na ako papunta sa room namin. Kinikilig ako that time dahil nahawakan ko ang kamay niya. It was so soft. After some time, naging magkaibigan kami. Lagi na kaming nag-uusap. Noong una, minsan-minsan lang. hanggang sa naging oras-oras na at naging araw-araw na. Walang katapos ang pag-uusap, hindi kami naboboard sa isa't isa. Nung Christmas party, umamin ako sa kanya. Umamin na rin siya sa akin na gusto niya rin ako. Nanligaw ako sa kanya after ng Christmas party. Pinakilala niya ako sa tita, pinsan, and lola niya. Pero hindi ko siya maipakilala sa pamilya ko. My family is religious and homophobic, kaya tinatago ko kung ano ako. She understood my situation kasi ganun din siya sa mama niya. After 4 months ng panliligaw, nakuha ko ang matamis niyang oo. Birthday ko noong sagutin niya ako. I was so happy, super duper happy. She is the dream woman I have ever asked for. Tumagal kami hanggang maging senior high school kami, but things fell apart. Nalaman ng mama niya and ng family ko yung about sa amin at pinaghiwalay kami. I know people will say na dapat pinaglaban namin. Yes, pinaglaban namin pero wala kaming magawa. Kasi kapag hindi kami nag-break, i-disown nila kami. So we made the toughest decision na mag-break. Nag-break kami with the promise that after 10 years at kaya na naming buhayin ang mga sarili namin, ipopursue ulit namin ng isa't isa. Wala na akong balita sa kanya, but I keep holding on to our promise. If you ever see this, I want you to know that I love you so much. I'm willing to wait for you. Tenement building. Hello, I am female. Nung 7 years old pa lang ako, nakatira kami sa isang tenement building. Sa 5th floor yung unit namin, tapos yung lola ko nasa 4th floor. Minsan, papunta ako sa bahay ni lola para tumambay. Tapos may kaibigan akong lalaki, 10 years old siya noon. Nag-iaya siya sa bahay nila. Akala ko maglalaro lang kami. Pero pagpasok namin, bigla niya akong niyaya na gawin yung ginagawa ng mga mag-asawa para magkaanak. Bata pa ako noon, inosente pa at curious. Kaya hindi ko na-gets at hindi ko naiintindihan ang mga nangyayari. Kaya pumayag ako. Doon nagsimula at naging habit na namin yun hanggang umabot ako ng 13 years old. Akala ko normal lang kasi wala pa akong alam sa mga bagay na yun. Natigil lang yun nung lumipat kami ng ibang bahay. Pero tuwing bumibisita ako sa Manila, sinusubukan niya pa rin akong yayain. Noong grade 10 ako, tinuro ng teacher namin sa MAPE tungkol sa molestya at mga bawal na gawain. Doon ko lang na-realize na mali pala lahat ng nangyari sa akin. Simula noon, nakaramdam ako ng hiya at parang ang dumi-dumi ko. Kaya ngayon, kapag umuwi ako sa Manila at nakikita kami, kunwari hindi ko na lang siya naririnig kapag inaaya niya ako. Chopper. Hi, I'm Ja, 22 years old, female. I would like to share my experience during my OJT. I had a crush and he is one of the pilots. He is TDH, tall, dark, and handsome, and we became exclusive. One time, employees and OJT students were having fun and were drinking. Hindi ko in-expect na si Pilot would drop me off at my house. Sa kagustuhan kong makilala pa siya, nilagpasan namin yung bahay ko since ayaw ko pang umuwi. He could not think of a place kung saan niya ako dadalhin kaya we went to Salem to drink more. I couldn't stop staring at him. Yung mga mata niya at ilong niyang matangos. He speaks so fucking professional. Joker, gentleman at sobrang hot niya. As in maganda ang pangangatawan niya. Daddy type. Then we were talking about something and since sobrang ingay sa lakas ng sounds, nilapit ko ang tenga ko sa kanya. He was teasing na ikikiss niya ako. At dahil na rin sa tama ng alak, fuck it, I kissed him kahit maraming tao. Pero wala na akong pakialam. Medyo nahihiya siya kasi parang dean or prof ko siya. And mind you, hindi lang inosenteng kiss. Laplapan. Ang sarap niyang humalik. Ang lambot ng labi niya at marunong siyang magdala. He asked me if gusto ko raw ba mag-check-in. Never ko naisip na aabot yung gabi sa ganun dahil mas interesado akong makilala siya. Plus I did not think I would ever have sex with him. I just cannot believe it. Ang pangarap kong sumakay sa chopper pero ang nasakyan ko yung piloto. He is a good fucker, lalo na when we were in the bathroom kung saan may malaking mirror. Kitang-kita ang ganda ng chest at laki ng biceps niya. Naulit pa ulit ang mga kaganapan at naging exclusive kami. Pumupunta siya dito sa Cavite para mag-date kami kahit tapos na ang OJT ko sa kanila. We started last December 2024 and still going until now. By the way, 42 years old si Pilot and looks much younger than his age. Pero nalilito ako kung ano ba talaga kami since we were acting like a couple and he said before that we are exclusive. Then one day, gusto na maging official kami. Like officially in a relationship. Strict na rin siya, laging maraming tanong at nagsiselos. Don't get me wrong, pero kasi this is my first time sa ganitong situation. And takot lang ako sa past niya kasi professional ang exes niya at ang mga nakalandian niya. At ito ako, isang estudyante lamang at unemployed na walang kasiguraduhan sa buhay. But the truth is, I'm just protecting myself. I am not sure if he loves me the way I do since he started bringing up about the future. I don't know what to do kasi it hurts me na wala kaming label. And I think we're just exclusively fucking each other. Isa pa, he always complains and compares me to his ex na inaalagaan at pinaglulutuan siya at hindi raw siya binibigyan ng bare minimum ng ex niya kagaya ng binibigay ko sa kanya. Hays, I'm just scared to give everything since walang kasiguraduhan kung may kami ba talaga. Tapos madalas pa kaming mag-away. Huling kita namin was second week of June. Tapos meron siyang kiss mark sa chest niya. And he blamed it on me that I was the one who left that mark. Alam niyang hindi ko yun ginagawa dahil ayaw niyang nilalagyan ko siya ng chikinini every time na nagsisex kami. And recently, nalaman ko na nag-chat sa kanya yung babaeng hindi niya makalimutan sa kama kasi kinukwento niya. I started acting all crazy. It's hard to accept the fact na hindi ko matutumbasan yung mga ex niya na palagi niyang binibring up. And it hurts. Pero we're still talking pa rin pero nawala na ako ng gana dahil nasasaktan ako. I love him but it hurts. Should I let him go? Kidnapper. My stepbrother married a girl noong 2015 and ngayon may 8 na silang anak. Yung wife ng stepbrother ko halos every year na lang buntis at pareha silang irresponsable. Magpupuli sana yung stepbrother ko kaso nakulong siya at yung wife niya naman binuhay ng ibang relatives namin. Nung time na nakakulong ang stepbrother ko, napalapit yung wife niya sa tita ko na nagpo-provide sa kanya. That time, my tita gave her a house to live in, a car to use at pinapaaral ang mga anak nila ng stepbrother ko. Not to mention, pati mga luho niya binibigay ng tita ko. Then noong 2022, hindi namin akalain na pinagnanakawan pala niya ang tita ko. Hindi lang pera ng tita ko, pati na rin ang alahas ng mga anak ni tita. And you know what's the worst? Nagplot ang stepbrother ko at ang wife niya na kidnapin ang anak ng tita ko. Fortunately, authorities were informed right away and nag-fail yung kidnap for ransom na plano nila na worth 5 million and balak nilang patayin yung anak ng tita ko after getting the ransom money.